As Christians, all of us are called to speak up for those who are living in oppression. In today's world, there's no other population more oppressed than the unborn. God is calling believers to give of our prayers, talents, time, and money. God recently showed me that sometimes that call to speak up can be as simple as educating those who cross my path. I'm a newly enrolled student in the social work program at Union University. Last semester, I took a social justice class. My classmates and I were assigned the task of choosing a social justice issue and preparing a presentation to educate our classmates. After much prayer, I chose racism and reproductive health for my topic. I need you to understand, I was very nervous about the topic God had assigned me. My class is made up of 8 other women and myself, 5 who were African American. I had been struggling to pull together my material, and I decided to go find somewhere to sit alone in silence and finalize my presentation. I had no idea I was walking into a divine appointment. This past November, I was sitting at a table in our local Panera Bread restaurant working on a presentation. I was really concentrating on my presentation when DeeDee walked up to my table and said hello. She asked me what I was working on, and my heart stopped a beat. I took a deep breath and said, "I'm working on a presentation for a class." And this young African American woman took it one step further and asked me, "What's it about?" And I responded with the title, Racism and Reproductive Health Care. DeeDee's response was, "Do you mean abortion in the African American population?" "Yes," I said to DeeDee, and she pulled out a chair and sat across from me for a few moments. She began asking the tough questions, and I was very nervous about addressing this subject with her. I wasn't sure how she was going to respond to the message. But after a few minutes of having conversation, she and I were laughing and talking about daily life and just calling each other by name, having real, genuine conversation about a difficult subject. DeeDee went on to say that she wanted to share her story with me, and so I encouraged her to do so. She informed me that a couple years ago she found herself a single female, pregnant, and alone, and she went to a place in town called Birth Choice. She wanted to know if I was familiar with it. She said they dealt with topics like I was discussing in my presentation. DeeDee didn't know about my involvement in the ministry until this moment. It was one of those moments that we knew, no doubt, God had orchestrated. So DeeDee, I have to confess to you, I was really nervous about talking to you that day in Panera. I was really scared about opening up that conversation with you, but we did, and we had a great conversation. We've started a relationship out of that, friendship.
Yes, ma'am.
And so I want to let you know that I know how nervous you must be right now, sharing your testimony with these ladies and gentlemen. So I want to thank you for that. So can you tell us why you sought out the help of Birth Choice?
I just knew that in my heart something just pulled me to Birth Choice. I didn't really know what type of help I was going to get first off. I just knew that, in Google, Birth Choice was the first one that popped up. And when I called, I was like, "Do y'all do pregnancy tests?" And she said, "Yes, it's free." And, I was practically sobbing trying to, get through who's going to give me a pregnancy test that I don't have to pay for. Because at the time I was 18, didn't even have money for this. And I was like, I need to know if I really am pregnant or not. And the lady, I do not remember her name, but she was awesome. She was amazing. I'm in there with tears, and I believe it was Miss Teresa.
Can you tell me, was abortion an option for you?
Yes, ma'am. It was. I believe when I went to Birth Choice, they said I was just then conceived. And I remember sitting in that room, Miss Teresa here and my child's father there, and I'm like, I'm not even ready for this. So abortion was an option for me at that time because I knew that I couldn't afford it. I couldn't afford raising a child at my age. I didn't even have enough, $200, didn't even have that. And I'm sitting here just now getting out of high school, with a baby growing in my womb. I was not ready. So yes, abortion and everything else was an option.
You said something to me that day at the restaurant that has really stuck with me when I asked you, was abortion an option for you? Do you remember what you told me? You said that one of the reasons was because you were a single
mother,
black
yes, ma'am.
Female.
Yes, ma'am.
And that made you feel like
a statistic. Another stereotype. Yes,
Just
ma'am. I remember that.
Just a number, like you were a nobody.
Yeah.
But you now know
Yes, ma'am.
that's not true.
Yes, ma'am.
The people at Birth Choice let you know that you're not a number, you're not a statistic, but that you are fearfully and wonderfully made
Yes, ma'am.
by our Creator God.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What message would you have tonight for our supporters? Is there anything that you would like to tell them?
That the people at Birth Choice, regardless of whatever I was going through, I know everybody in there was a Christian, and they were so supportive of whatever I wanted to do, and they did not judge me on whatever decision that I made. They prayed over me, and it was just like I was in a judge-free zone. And that's what I would like for everybody else to know, that if they go to Birth Choice, that they're going to a judgment-free zone. Birth Choice is love. That's, if anything from off the bat, it's love. I walked in there and I felt it. I felt smiles and hugs and just love.
Can you introduce us to this precious little thing in your lap?
This is my daughter, Sanaa.
How old are you, Sanaya?
How old are you, Mama?
You're 2?
Are you a big 2 or a little 2?
A little 2. So, DeeDee, tell me something that's special and unique about Sanaya that you love so much about her.
With her being my first, that she's shown me what it's like to be a mom. She's a great, babe, with her, I feel love. Like when I look at her, I'm so in love with her. Mm-hmm. And I love that, even when we're going through our discipline moments, she'll give me that look. Do you still love me? Mm-hmm. So I love the way she talks, and just the way she can be herself at any given moment.
They're genuine at this age.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, she's precious. Thank you for sharing your story, and thank you for sharing her with us.
Thank you.
I did not want to speak to my class nor to DeeDee about this sensitive topic. Yet we're commanded in Scripture to speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves. How can we be a people who rise up and obey this command? For me, I had to say yes to make this difficult presentation, and I had to say yes to answer DeeDee's hard questions. For DeeDee, it was choosing life for her baby, and saying yes to sharing her story with me that day and with you here tonight. How is God calling you to step out of your silence? Will you be there when they need you?